Hi guys, what's up? Sakhir here. Today we are here with the next episode of F1 2013 Career Mode. We're here in Bahrain and we've got P7 on the grid. That's about what I expected. That's where the Lotus sort of is. Hopefully we can go forward in the race. I'm hoping to get a podium. I do like Bahrain. It is one of my more favourite tracks, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And yeah, hopefully everything goes to plan. And this will be the fourth race of the season. And you know, still quite a lot to go, but the championship's looking good. 1 point ahead of who was it now? Is it 1 point ahead of Rosberg and 2 points ahead of Hamilton or something like that? I think so. I'm not really too sure. I can't remember. But yeah, we're leading the championship, so hopefully this race will be just as good, and hopefully we can bring home another good result. Now, Raikkonen's there in front of us, then we've got Hamilton, Webber, Alonso I expect in front of us there, and then Vettel on pole. So it's looking like it's going to be an interesting race. So hopefully everything does go to plan, and hopefully we can get a good result. It's really just the sort of the top 4 teams battling out in this championship, and then there's quite a big gap back to McLaren. Can't Raikkonen stop driving so slowly, son? Oh, Button's actually, yeah, Button has moved his way up through the field a bit there. Oh, I look behind, then I'm sort of crashing into Button there. It looks like whoever it is has got quite a big lead already. I think that might be Rosberg. And we're now moved our way up through the field a little bit, back up into 6th after losing positions to Raikkonen and co. And yeah, it's Rosberg that is leading the Bahrain Grand Prix, just like he did in real life, obviously after taking pole. Bahrain was one of the few races last year that I didn't actually watch live. I think I was at Brands Hatch. I can't exactly remember which race meeting I was at, but I think I was at Brands Hatch, and I think I listened to a bit of it on the radio, and it's a bit of a crazy race by the sound of it. I never really actually went back and watched the full race. I watched some highlights of it, but never really could be bothered to go back and watch the full race. I mean, it sounded like an alright race, but you know, lots of car problems and all that sort of stuff, which isn't really that exciting to me. I'm there for good racing, not for retirements and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so last episode I talked about Formula 1 and the new season. As I'm recording it, the first race hasn't even been completed, but obviously as you're watching it, it has been completed, so that's a bit confusing. Oh, what the curb just like spat me off and onto the left hand side onto the grass there. That was a little bit weird. But yeah, I said in this episode I was going to be talking about GP2 and GP3, because I said that you should really be watching those because they're really good series, and I think, you know, the racing might even be better than Formula 1, so it's definitely worth a watch if you're a motorsport fan and have got Sky Sports, because that's where the races are shown in the UK. Not sure about the rest of the world, but in the UK, yeah, those GP2 and GP3 races are shown on Sky Sports F1 HD, the same channel as the actual F1, and the racing is just so good. I think actually in GP3 especially last year, the racing was even better than GP2. GP2 last year had some, without being too rude, had some pretty crazy drivers in it that weren't scared to just go for really outrageous manoeuvres, and some of those aren't in the sport now by the looks of it anymore. I'm recording this, as I said, in a bit in advance, so all the GP2 and 3 drivers haven't been confirmed as I record this, but I'm sure all the GP2 drivers are confirmed, because it's only a couple of about a week and a bit now until the first race in Malaysia, which I'm looking forward to massively, hoping that that season all goes to plan. A few people I'm supporting support Daniel Abt in that series. Also, obviously, all the British drivers, you always support the drivers from your home nation, pretty much. Oh no, that's a big mistake. And who else do I support in GP2? It's hard to remember off the top of my head, actually. I really sort of support in the series. Quite a big fan of oh, who is it? Oh, now I just forgot the name off the top of my head right now. Van Dorn, I sort of support him. I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan, but I'm a fan. So yeah, hoping he does good things this year. And also Marciello, I really realise what a great driver he is, and I hope he can have a successful year in GP2. In GP2 testing last year, he was so fast. He was faster than everybody else, I think, in every test session he did. In the Trident as well, which obviously Trident are one of the slower teams on the grid. and he did an amazing job and got really good times in there as well. And I think GP2 could be more exciting than F1 this year. It's probably going to have nicer engine sounds, but I'm not, I don't hate the V6 that we got this year. I don't actually think it sounds that bad. Sorry, got a cold, and you can still hear that my voice sometimes drops off in the middle of sentences and it sounds really weird. But yeah, GP2 is looking great this year. Some really class drivers in it, like Marcello, Abt, Van Dorn, and all the people I've listed. A lot of great drivers in it. A couple of people that I'm a bit confused about, even how they even got into it. I'm not saying that they're bad or anything, but Azawa for ART, I'm not really sure how he got there. Maybe it's something to do with it's sort of the ART is sort of McLaren's sort of junior team at the moment. It's obviously Van Dorn there as well, and I think there might be some sort of Honda relationship that obviously got Azawa into the seat. I mean, he's not a bad driver. He's won races in Super GT and Super Formula or something, I think it's called, in Japan. Sort of like the GP2 equivalent in Japan. It's a good series, but sadly I don't really get to see much coverage over here in the UK. Obviously you can watch it, but it's hard to understand what's going on when it's pretty much just Japanese commentators. So it's been unfortunate, but obviously it's a Japanese series, so I'm not expecting to have English commentators there. It'd just be nice if you could, but I'm sure maybe Motors TV or something probably show highlights or something on it. But whatever. Yeah, I was talking about GP2 and GP3. GP2 I've already covered that a little bit now, so GP3, let's move on to that. Now, who would I say I'm supporting in GP3? I've got to try and think who's in it. Well, Nick Yelly, I'm probably, at the moment, out of the people that I've seen in it at the moment, it's probably the person I support the most. I've sort of followed Nick Yelly the last couple of years, and he's always sort of stuck with Carlin, but this year he's moving to Status. I think it's a good idea. I'm assuming, this is just assumptions, that's the right word. Assumptions. I'm assuming that maybe a Status drive is less than a Carlin drive in terms of the amount of sponsorship you have to bring. So maybe he's saving a little bit of money by going to Status. He knows his ability is good enough to go for the championship, whatever car he's in. So yeah, I'm hoping he can get the championship this year. But by the looks of it, there are some quite tough competitors. Visa U's fast, Niederhauser's fast. Who else is fast? It's not Jordan King. He's in an F3. Who is it? Off the top of my head, Alex Lynn. That's it. Alex Lynn, the one that F3 in Macau race, Macau Grand Prix. He won that, and now he's moving over to GP3 with Carlin with Red Bull backing, and he was fast. I think that honestly they should have put Carlos Sainz Jr. in for another year in GP3. I think that he didn't really show much speed in GP3, so I think he definitely deserved to stay in there instead of going out to Formula Renault 3.5, which is sort of a equivalent series to GP2. So I think that they really should have kept him in GP3, just because I don't think he's got enough experience. Obviously Kvyat proving he can go for the GP3 championship, which put him into the F1 drive, which I agree with. I think it was either him or Da Costa that deserved it. No one else deserved it. So Red Bull did what they did, and it might mean that Da Costa never gets an F1 seat, which would be unfortunate because I'm a big fan of his. But yeah, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I mean, I know Da Costa's got a very competitive drive now in DTM with the best company. For the last couple of years, DTM have overall, not DTM, BMW have overall looked like the best team to be with. So I'm hoping it is a successful season with them, and hopefully everything does go to plan, and hopefully he can fight for podiums, race wins possibly. I'm not sure about the championship, maybe if he does a second year, but fighting for the championship in DTM is very hard because you've got people in there that have been racing in it for probably about 10 years, or some people in there have been racing it for 10 years, and then Timo Glock obviously coming in last year, getting 2 podiums and a win, obviously a win included in those podiums, and he did a very good job in the last race of the season to fight off everyone else and bring home the victory, and that was a very popular win, and I was pretty happy for Timo Glock, obviously getting ditched by Marussia for money. Not trying to be rude, but he pretty much took. It was going to be Bianchi and somebody, and it ended up being Bianchi. Sorry, no, it was Chilton and somebody, wasn't it? It was going to be Chilton. So it wasn't money. For some reason, I always thought that it was going to be Bianchi and Glock. Obviously, it's not. I just literally realised it in the top of my head because I realised Chilton pretty much got confirmed quite soon after he finished GP2 that year. So yeah, that's surprising. I never really thought about it really. I always thought that Glock was always forced out for money, but I suppose at the end of the day they just took Bianchi. I guess Bianchi does bring quite a bit of money when I think about it, because Bianchi obviously came second in World Series for the year before, and then he got into an F1 seat, and I think it was always something to do with the Ferrari Academy. I'm sure that the Ferrari Academy brings in a lot of money for him, so nothing against Bianchi, but he's a great driver, and I really hope we see him in a top team soon. But sadly, it looks like he's going to be in Marussia at least for this year, maybe another one after that. And it depends about Chilton as well, whether they keep him on for another year. But interesting, I honestly think that Chilton's not that bad. In terms of consistency, he might be better than anyone else out there. Obviously last year, he finished every single race. Very good of him to do that. A lot of people thought, well, that's pretty easy, just drive 5 miles an hour every race. But, he never did that badly. He was never like a lap behind, lap or two behind Bianchi. He may have been like a lap behind on Bianchi on 1 or 2 occasions, maybe due to a car problem or something, but he matched Bianchi with less experience, I'd say that. Bianchi's had more time in a Formula 1 car than Chilton, and Chilton did match him at certain points of the season, like Spa, Monza, Singapore, that sort of area of the season. Suzuka as well, he sort of matched Bianchi quite well. And I think Chilton had a pretty decent first year. A lot of people didn't like the fact that he was chosen over talent, if you will. Even though I do think he's a talent, it's just people are quick to forget that he's still like one of the youngest people in the field, and Bianchi's like 2 years older than him. And but yeah, so maybe he was a bit fast tracked into Formula 1, but made by the sponsors. He obviously drove for Marussia. He drove for Marussia in GP2, so maybe he was a bit fast tracked into that because of that. But it's hard to tell, to be perfectly honest. But sponsors do have a big influence. Obviously, his main sponsors are from his dad. Aon, I think, big contributor into Chilton's Formula 1 funds. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because every team needs money, so at the end of the day they're all going to have a sponsor of some sort. There's no F1 team out there that doesn't run any sponsors. You can say, oh, Ferrari don't run any sponsors, and yes they do. You look a bit more closely, they're sponsored by UPS, sponsored by Shell, and amongst a couple of other things as well. So, watch out for that. The people like Shell and UPS are spending millions and millions on those little sponsors you got on the Ferrari t-shirts there. They're spending a huge amount of money on that. And yeah, then you could say like, oh, Mercedes, but then they're sponsored by Monster, BlackBerry, and quite a few other companies. And maybe the team with the least sponsors actually could be who is it? It's not Lotus, definitely not Lotus, not McLaren. It might even be one of the back teams. It might even be Marussia that has the least sponsors out of everyone. I realise Chilton's brought in a couple more sponsors for this year, which is good to see, that he can help Marussia out even more. And yeah, overall, I just hope that Chilton has a good season. Obviously, he's a British driver. I've supported him since since midway through his GP2 career. And I know there's a lot of bandwagon fans out there that just support Vettel ever since 2009 or 10, ironically. That's when they apparently started watching F1 or something. Or, I don't know, Alonso fan in 2006, 2005. I'm not trying to be rude to anyone, but I support Suttil, and you all know that he hasn't ever got a podium. He's got a pole position in the fastest lap. No, sorry, a second place in the grid in the fastest lap. So not exactly the most glamorous F1 history, but I still support him. I think he was really fast in 2011. He was poised to actually go to Ferrari in 2012. A lot of rumours about that, but obviously he sat out 2012 due to the night. Then was it a nightclub sort of thing he did in nightclub? How was it? Stab someone with a bottle or something? I don't think that was quite what happened, but you know, you got to move on. A lot of people live in the past and say that all the time to me. Oh, Suttles did this, but I'm just like, just move on for goodness sake. There's people out there. I mean, Hamilton, I bet he's done stupid things in the past that he regrets. I bet Alonso has. I bet Vettel has. You just need to move on. Maybe not a series of Suttles, but you know what I'm saying. You need to move on and take each year how it comes. And Suttel did some pretty good stuff in 2013 on a year where he hadn't had any experience the year before in 2012. Obviously he didn't race at all. I think he did a pretty good job. But yeah, there are definitely better drivers out there than Suttel, but I've supported him ever since Spiker 2007. I know he tested for Midland in 2006, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I only ever supported him since 2007, probably down to the car actually. I really like the look of the Spiker, the orange colours. That might actually be the actual reason why I support Suttel. Alright, let's just get back the position to Vettel. There we go. I dive bombed it and then gave the position back. Thought that's probably the best thing to do. Right, now to try and just keep it on the road and maybe catch these guys in front. We'll see. Just got to try and keep calm and understand the track and how it's developing, where the grip is and everything. But the grip is definitely not off the track. And how's Hamilton like win every race on career mode? I don't understand. Hamilton is so OP, and Mercedes are a little bit OP in this game. I don't really understand it, to be honest, because the Mercedes were not winning every race. I mean, yeah, they were doing all right, but Codemasters seemed to program them to be winning everything, which wasn't very true. They only won 3 races out of the 19. Standard revs from the car behind. Getting that slipstream of Rosberg. Probably gonna get DRS, luckily. How's Hamilton suddenly started going so fast? I don't know. DRS, 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 DRS. No, I can't make a song out of that. Nice move down the inside. Now to catch old Hamilton. I wonder if I can do it 4 laps to go, just under 4 laps to go. Should be a pretty intense little battle here, but oh yeah, I forgot to say, I was going to do like a question for every single episode. Maybe you can leave a comment, guys, down in the comment section about who you or who your favourite drivers in GP2 and GP3 are if you watch it. Let me know with a comment down below whether you watch it and also who you support. That would be good to see. And honestly, guys, if you haven't seen it, go on YouTube. You'll find some races on there. Definitely worth watching. It's a very interesting series. You know, the youngsters out there in GP3 and obviously a bit more mature drivers in GP2, but the racing in both is great. And you know, if you're ever getting a bit bored of F1, there are people that upload the GP2 and GP3 races onto YouTube, and they don't seem to be taken down like the F1 stuff does. So definitely give it a watch and give it a try. I mean, just experience some of the races they have and you'll thoroughly enjoy it. It sounds like I'm promoting them of some sort, but I'm saying to watch a YouTube video. But yeah, I don't think many of the GP2 races get uploaded, but quite a few GP3 ones do, so just give it a watch, you'll enjoy it, I'm sure. But anyway, 3 laps to go now. I'm maxing out about 196 here. I could have probably gone for a dive bomb move there, but just try and get the car set up down here and possibly get into a better position up here. I'm sorry if there's background noise, by the way. I think that was a bird flying past or something. Oh, no. But yeah, because it's so hot in my room at the moment, as I've probably seen in that last episode. It's really boiling all of a sudden. It was like freezing all the time, and now it's boiling hot. But yeah, I had the windows open and everything just to make sure that it isn't boiling. Nice wheel-to-wheel racing with Hamilton here, and we're up into the lead. Cut him across there so he doesn't have the chance to dive it back down the inside. It means we're tighter into this corner now and tighter into this one. This was a great racing co-op, and now he's right back past us. Whoa, and he cuts us off there. Hamilton very fast through there, and now he's gonna... Oh, what's he doing? Just about keeping one wheel on the track there, so it's legal overtake. And now Rosberg's right up my gearbox. Oh no, sliding, but we kept it under control. This is going to be intense. The co-op race round here was intense, and hopefully this is just as good. Hamilton's starting to slide around a little bit. I'm running over the curbs, not what I want to be doing. Alright, let's see what we can do here. I mean, I'm going to hit the limiter anyway, so there's no point using curves. Got the move done. Oh, Hamilton's made contact. I made contact with Hamilton. Hamilton, if you give some, you got to take some, and that was sort of a bit dirty racing from him, so I just barged it back on the track without much respect for him. And now Hamilton's losing a whole heap of time and that. Now there's actually a group of 4 there. I'm not too sure what the other car is. Oh, Red Bull's in the mix, and also the Ferrari is. There was a bit of a gap back to any other car, but they seem to have pulled it back quite well. Curves it away. Hopefully now we've got a nice enough gap, big enough gap to hold them off. Sorry, I should say, for the last part of this race. And you know, it's Monaco in a couple of race time, and I'm not looking forward to that. But hopefully everything does go to plan, and we'll see. But if we take the win here, will it further our championship advantage over, I think it's Alonso in second. I'm not too sure. I think it's Alonso then Hamilton or something like that. Hamilton and Alonso or Rosberg. I don't know, to be perfectly honest. I have to look when the standings come up at the end here. But here we are. Bahrain. We won the Australian Grand Prix. Malaysia didn't really go away, and neither did China a week ago. But we now start the last lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix to see whether we pick up 25 points for the what am I saying? 25 points for the race. Probably the best way about putting that. And hopefully now, just keep it on the road, and 25 points will be ours. And a nice championship advantage will be about 10 points at least in the next car. So that's going to be great. Might even be more than that. It's pretty vital to win races in F1 2013, or just F1 in general, since they put in the new point system, because because first gives you so many more points than second. And for example, you can lose 15 points if you finish 5th and the person you're battling starts and wins finishes first, and you finish 5th. That's 10 points that you've lost. And yeah, the new point system definitely hurts people that don't get a top 3 finish, and especially if you don't win, to be perfectly honest, it really hurts you. And then that's why Vettel just dominated the points this or last year, I should say, by so much. Nearly 400 points he got, and that's just because he got so many wins, and wins give you so many points nowadays. And yeah, that's why he had such a good season. I think Vettel's best ever driving, and 2014 is going to be a testimony. That's the right word, to how good Vettel is as a race car driver. Because if he does well, you know, helps the team and pulls the car through. Because obviously, Red Bull isn't the best car at the moment. I reckon this will be a good season for Vettel to show how good he really is against the other people, because it's going to be a pretty up and down crazy year. And a nice best lap there. That was really good, actually. From 7th on the grid up to P1, Rosberg starting first, ending up second. Let's have a look at that championship table. It's Hamilton, Vettel, Alonso and Rosberg. And only 11 people have actually scored points, so there's only been, I think Hulkenberg only scored on one occasion, so it's been the same top 10 every single race, which has always been 2 Lotus cars, 2 Mercedes, 2 Red Bulls, 2 Ferraris, and then there's been and 2 McLarens. And then it's been on one occasion, sorry, I should say, I think, where Hulkenberg has scored a 9th place finish. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Leave your comments down below about the drivers you support in GP2 and 3. But until then, it's been Alex, I'm out of here. Goodbye.